3, 2, 1. Yo, and welcome to our 6th episode of The Connection Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're listening to us on iTunes, on Spotify, or right here on YouTube. And if you are not a subscriber, if you're tuned in, you're not a subscriber, make sure you're smashing that subscribe button below. Please give us a little love and share this show. And share it with your friends, share it with your mom, share it with your dad. Hey, this show is going to be just as good as the Grammys was this weekend, right?
Yeah.
This show today, we're going to be talking about bringing value to you, and we're going to be recapping on a lot of Instagram tips. We haven't really been able to hit our listeners hard with some Instagram tips. So today's show is not just for the business owner. It's also for just the regular everyday user. And just like you said, Alejandro, even the modern caveman can take some good value from this show, right?
Yep.
All right, stick around. We've got a lot of great stuff to bring you.
You're tuned in to the Connection Podcast. We are a team of content creators and digital marketers connecting you each week to successful entrepreneurs and marketing experts that provide informational, inspirational, and motivational success stories in the world of digital marketing.
Yo, guys.
We're back.
Hey, it's us today.
Yeah.
You got you right in front of me right here. We got Alejandro. I almost, I was introducing you, and then right in the middle of trying to introduce you, I got to learn to stop doing that. I hold my thoughts, and then I say, and right across from me, I got Alejandro, and I'm Alex Garcia. Everybody, nice to. I'm sorry, I tried to steal your spotlight.
It's Alejandro, but I'm Alex Garcia. It's cool.
Yeah.
Should I introduce? That's Giovanni over there, but I'm Alejandro.
Yeah.
It's me right now. And to my left, I got Jovan.
But maybe after episode 15, 16, 17, I'll be a little smoother on that on the toss. Again, to my right, we got our man, our social media manager. We got Jovan with us.
What up?
Yeah.
Gangsta.
and our director behind the scenes over here. What's up, Hector? Welcome again. Welcome.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
What up, Hector?
What up, Hector? Thanks again for being here. Thanks for being a part of this all, to making this happen. I think that's important for us to every now and again just give our listeners a good recap of where we're at, what we're doing, what we've been doing, and
We've had some good shows.
some great, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, one of the sayings on the last show is we've been hitting them with the jab right hook, and that's a Gary V thing, you know. So if you are,
I've been jab hooking some of my posts lately. It's been good. It's been good.
Yeah. So you get the analogy. I think a lot of us that tune into that man, Gary V. You can learn a lot from that little saying right there. And with today, we've been talking with some great marketers, just great business owners that have been bringing a lot of value to our listeners on their Instagrams, and maybe we're encouraging somebody out there. And if we have been encouraging you, make sure you're giving us a little thumbs up and just drop us a comment below. We haven't been receiving too many comments, and again, we love to hear some feedback from them, as well as what we could be bringing to them, what they like to hear. So listeners, just go ahead and drop a comment. It's free to drop a comment. And we promise we won't get hurt if you're being honest with us as well. But again, our shows are recapping again from our show with Amanda. They had a lot to, the biggest thing we probably took from that was, how important it is to tell a story.
Keeping social media social.
Keeping social media social. Share your story.
It's important for a lot of businesses.
I think it's important to, with that, it's important to not preach, tell your story instead, and then our friends over Chris at MaxFit. And, I think 3 shows ago, anyways, I dropped there's no excuses. It's 2019, and Chris from MaxFit says there's no excuses. It's crazy. There's a common theme kind of going on here.
Yeah.
And today, let's take a few minutes to kind of recap some tips that we could really bring to our listeners on, again, even if you're just a listener that's been enjoying listening, and we appreciate you listening and tuning in. But you're not a business owner, or maybe you're not a marketer, but yet you enjoy the use of social media, whether that be Instagram. And some of the tips we'll talk about today can apply to even Facebook, because we'll be talking about making posts, making video posts, photography posts, maybe upping your photography game a little bit, or video game, maybe animated GIFs, anything like that. But
how to run a meme page.
Yeah, how to run a meme. We ain't going to go that deep. We're not going to go too deep today on actually paid marketing. But yeah, we're gonna hit them with some good content on what they could be doing to improve their social media page or their Instagram page.
Speaking of the recap part, the jab, left hook, right hook, uppercut combo.
Yeah.
Can you refreshing our people out there what that's all about?
I think the way I've used that is here's some content, here's a message, here's our social media posts, Instagram post, Javon dropping Mag 1 motivation, boom, here's the Connection podcast. You know what I mean? Now we're giving people free value, and they're connecting with us.
Nice.
And
so you build on it.
You're building on that.
Yeah.
I believe that's kind of a good way to really elaborate just a little on that jab, right hook.
I think our people would understand it.
Yeah. Let's. Why don't we get started here, and why don't we just dive into maybe some good practices on what our listeners could be doing for better organic post on their Instagram. And again, I think this talk can continue on their Facebook, but right here, just glancing at my notes real quick on some. How about like how often some should again, we're taking it back to the basics
How
here.
often should they post?
Yeah, how you guys want to kind of dive in on from you guys' learnings. We want to dive into what's a good number and
What's a good
posting.
number?
Well, I think if you're promoting something, it's maybe like 3 to 4 times a week. Due to like Instagram's algorithm, it's not going to show every single one of your posts like chronologically. People aren't going to be like, oh, this person's posting way too much. They're going to see what comes up from the algorithm. So I think, personally, if you're promoting something, the more content you're pushing out, the higher reach it's going to get. And I know that a lot of people nowadays are more fixated on likes and comments, but I think the more content you're putting out there, the more reach you're going to get, the more like brand awareness. If it's your personal brand or if it's just you, like people are going to know that you're active and they're going to see your face more. I think around like 3 to 4 times a week if you're promoting something. If not, like, if you say it's your personal account, maybe a couple times a week, just to, I think just to show that you're still alive. Sometimes people fall off on Instagram and it's almost like they disappear.
Yeah.
Like personally, I think like sometimes people just disappear if they're not posting
Yeah.
stories.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with you. I agree with that. Sometimes, and let's kind of clear something up for our listeners. All 3 of us sitting in this room, we don't have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 followers. So as we're sharing our stories,
I'm almost there.
You're almost there. But as we're sharing our stories, we're growing with our community and we're growing with our clients as well. In a small community that is that I believe is really struggling to keep social media social. They really connect through social media, and it's starting to happen now more and more. I'm starting to feel more growth from people in Monterey just click and start liking my page. I'm starting to feel people from Carmel or wherever, Santa Cruz and San Jose, and I've always got people from LA and New York and who knows where, London, clicking and liking my stuff. But it's always been a little bit of a struggle right in our own community of Monterey County to get people to kind of click and engage, and it's and everybody wants the followers, like you said, Javon. Everybody wants the likes. Everybody wants, but everybody's very reluctant to go hit that follow button. Mm-hmm. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So and businesses are really starting to learn and understand from people like us that are doing it for their companies that we really got to go and like everybody's pages to become relevant and for us to even pop up into other people's feeds that may seem to like what we're doing and what we're up to, right? But if you're not posting a couple of times a week, at least a few times, 3 to 4 times a week, it does really start to feel like, once a week you're lost. People, you're never gonna get a following if it's that often.
Yeah. Like if you're used to the company's vibe of like putting deals out, and then you see an organic post, does that make you feel like, oh, I can relate more to the company now, or it's more like I just want to see
when
deals?
It comes from the inside, like the business owner, he posts a picture of
himself. Golfing.
Okay, as opposed to him posting a picture of his warehouse all the time,
Right.
Or his product,
Yeah.
or his chocolate bars that he sells.
Like, would that drive you more to like, oh, I like this? I can see humans behind this company.
I believe
more or
so.
less.
I don't actually have the right answer to that, but I can tell you the pages that I follow, and occasionally you may see a grandpa, a grandma, or somebody that relates to their story. So that's what's important, I think, ultimately. that we want to create stories for our audience, you know? So if you're really building this, you know, brand of again, I'm an agriculture grower, I'm a lettuce grower, and you know, we grow the best lettuce in the world and we feed the world. You know, it might not be bad to say, here's a picture of my son who's the future generation of this company, or here's a picture of my dad or my grandpa who started this venture 100 years ago, whatever it may be. Does that answer the question?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
do you think?
You know, I think recently on the show we've had business owners who aren't afraid to show their face on their social media, and that gives, you know, like that personal feel to their business, that they're not just like, you know, this big corporation. But then you kind of look at, like, you know, a giant like Nike, and you don't see that stuff. But you know, I think
you see a lot of good faces.
Yeah.
You do see a lot of good faces behind Nike, you know, and then you get a lot of, from Nike, they have a lot of what we really maybe go more in depth of in the future. And I'm looking at my notes here, and I actually didn't even write it down. Influencers, though. You know, they're influencers that I follow a whole bunch. I mean, again, I'm sneaker guy, right? And I mean, I follow all their influencers that I'm like, man, that guy's got. How did he get those shoes? You know. So go ahead.
If you're not gonna put your face on it, put like or what do you call it? Create a story, put another face on it. You know, create your narrative. It just all depends on your market.
Cool. So to do a quick recap on some of the Instagram tips for our viewers, what should they do?
Okay. Well, Mag One Media, we'll call her Maggie. So Maggie says, post often, be very organic with your approach, and be very relatable. You know, so you don't want to come off too preachy. You don't want to just sell, or promote. You want to seem as personable as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. What do you think, Alex?
I agree.
I love it. Do you have any tips? Any Maggie tips? We're live and uncut. Before we roll into the,
I swear, all I can hear is the baby going. Oh my god!
what do you gotta call?
Oh man,
We gotta reshoot it. We're keeping it.
No.
We have a baby on the set, by the way. We're doing all this as 4 men and a baby. 4 men and a baby.
we have a special guest on the show with us today.
She's running the show backstage. She's running the show backstage,
That is funny.
making
Camera
sure
operator.
that
She's like staring right at me, so that's why that last whole little part. That was like, what you just say. Okay, so tell me again about this tip. So, Alejandro, you were just pitching.
we were just kind of recapping on the first part of our Instagram tips for our users, and Maggie said that we should keep our posts organic, personable, so you're not preachy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
But there's one more thing you said.
Keep it organic.
Keep it organic.
As organic as possible.
As organic as possible.
Yeah. Real quickly, I every time I say real quickly, it ends up being an hour.
It's not that quick.
It's not that quick. I think people are going to soon to learn that real quickly means.
They're like, oh, he said real quickly.
Real quickly, let me go get your popcorn. Make yourself a PB&J, maybe a coffee.
What you got?
Landscape versus vertical imagery. Again, I'm just going to real quickly pull up my
I love it. So, for example, like a person, I have a post. I'm like, okay, what are they? Should I post a horizontal photo? Should I post a vertical photo?
Right.
What am I gonna get out of this?
Yep, exactly.
How many likes?
Exactly. So
What did you find out?
I'm on my desktop here for a second, but if you could, there we go.
Prompt us up to the
Let's pull
to the
up
main monitor.
to the main monitor, and let me just get that going. This is one of our accounts here, Mag One Productions account. At Mag One Productions, and right here I have more of a little taller than square, but vertically standing photograph. On a phone, that vertical photograph versus there's one that's a little tall too. There's one that's horizontal, right?
See almost the same amount of engagement.
This is true on these two examples. Okay, but for many other
On average,
users,
yeah, on average, what do you think?
many other users, if let's just say the square 4x4 or 1x1 is the it gets 100% of your average
Yeah.
engagement, right?
I personally give less engagement to the square ones. I feel like they didn't take their time. It's kind of boring.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's just
Interesting.
That's an
And
interesting.
when I see the horizontal landscape, I'm like, oh, it's cinematic. Ooh, what's going on?
So I'm drawn. My personal mind is drawn to the landscape because of video. Video 16:9 perspective, widescreen. We all look at our widescreen TVs like we have right here in this room. But when we use that in our phones on our feed, this landscape mode would get less engagement. It actually gets. I wrote it down in my notes here, but it gets about 20% less engagement than a vertical photo. And then we wonder, and we're wondering why. Why do we get less engagement? Or maybe somebody who's listening right now, and again, just a regular user, not a business owner. They're been posting most of their photos in a landscape mode, or they've been doing that square box. So we're gonna assume that the square box gives us 100% of our average engagement, might be 100 likes. On these horizontal photos, as somebody's scrolling through their phone. Javon, actually, can I get the cord here to
Yeah, here you go.
let's see if I can go on Instagram, and hopefully
Technically speaking, it will be faster to scroll through a horizontal photo.
you're gonna scroll right past it. Correct. We're gonna blow right by it.
And if you
So-
post a
So
like
let's
a tall one,
give me. There we go. Thank you for pulling that up. Here's it was three posts down or so, and I stumbled upon one of our clients here, Javon. Wonderful posts we've got going right here, and
Thank you.
what are the for any of those that are watching on YouTube and any of those that are listening, what we have in front of us. If you're watching on YouTube,
I love Sylvan Learning. They do great stuff.
Sylvan Learning Center,
They're awesome.
and they're doing really wonderful things with their
And they're right in the
after-
heart of Salinas too. Like,
right in the heart of Salinas.
Can't get any better than that.
We don't usually share our clients too often, but we just happen to stumble across one really quickly. This one's a little taller than just a straight square, but if you can see on this page, which is the height of my phone right now, it's giving us a lot of time to spend on a
Right.
photo.
That's the psychological warfare they play on you.
Correct.
You're looking at more content as you scroll.
Here's one from a winery. It's a little taller, taking up my screen. Here's a sponsored ad. And you can see how I'm seeing the comments above, the comments below, and another profile starting to come up to where you just scroll through it so quickly.
Yeah.
Here's
It promotes ADD.
yeah. Right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, so much. Oh, what's coming up? I can't wait to scroll. I will see what's under this
Yeah,
post.
Basically.
So I think when you're making your decision to, horizontal or vertical, as a user, you want to be able to know your target audience and know, will my horizontal photo work for us, or will my vertical photo work for me at this in particular
It's
moment?
content dependent. Very
Yeah.
good tip for people out there looking to make their new posts and promote themselves and their products.
Yeah.
But note that up to 20% more engagement on them vertical standing photos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyhow, just thought I'd would pitch that one out there. How about just real quickly, bios or and the image that you use, your profile image and bio and your name. Have you guys done any research in these angles or areas, or found ones that you're more drawn to?
It's half and half. I guess it depends on who you are and what the company's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I would think if you're achieving a lot of things, you're doing a lot of cool things, I would like to see the description on your bio. Like, oh, this person does this, they run this account, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I also enjoy other artistic accounts that say nothing, very less. Like, I've seen some popular accounts that no bio, and in fact, they encourage you to not follow them. Yeah.
Interesting.
They're like, don't follow this, but it's like full, like 5 million followers. Simple things like that. So I guess it would depend on what you're into, what you're looking for, what kind of page. What do you think, Jovan?
Well, I think from my perspective, because I dance a lot, and I'm always trying to find inspiration. I kind of use the bio to like to see people's what do you call it, credibility as like a dancer, or as like performer. Like who have they danced with, what team or what program are they a part of? It kind of helps me like
it's like the resume.
Yeah, it's like a little resume. Kind of gives you like that brief like like pitch. Like, should I follow this person? Like, oh, they trained in San Diego where I trained too. Maybe I should give them a little follow. If not, I'm just like, who is this random person?
Bios are pretty important right now nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mine is fully empty.
Bio is very important, believe it or not, for making sure you're connecting with the right audience. Like Javon said, a dance crew. There could be somebody that's posting a bunch of dance photos, but how do you know specifically if he's a coach or a student of dance, or you know what I mean, or if he runs a business, or so it's very important. Javon might not want to follow students. Javon wants to go and he only wants to follow coaches, or maybe he only wants to follow owners of because those are three different demos that he's trying to attract to and connect with. So his message may be more leaning towards the person of the business owner. His approach might be more. So we're really only going to know that right off the bat once you've drawn them. Once they've discovered you, once somebody's discovered you, they're going to make their decision based off of your profile picture. If you have a good logo, a good brand, something that's attractive in that little icon, that small little tiny icon, somebody's gonna make a judgment off you in that first second they take a glance on it, whether they want to click to learn more about you. After they've gone beyond your little photo or logo, whatever it is that's drawing them to your profile, they're going to see if you have a story nowadays, see if it's glowing with that little ring. But they're going to also at the same time be looking at your name. Your name may attract them, or it may turn them off. You know what I'm saying? So it's important that your name, I personally, I love that personal accounts have just their real name. You know what I mean? I also like when personal accounts have very easy to read names.
Yeah.
If it's a personal profile, actually, like my sister has a real creative one, and she told me about a month ago or so, I'm thinking about just trying to change my name to my real name. She has a very unique first name, but her handle, which I'll share, is Red Lipstick Bandit at Instagram. And it was something
she's gonna blow up. Now she's gonna get all these followers.
Red Lipstick Bandit.
Just put her on social.
And at the time, it was hilarious. At the time, but anybody that can clearly just quickly, you're gonna look at it and it's Red Lipstick Bandit. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, right?
Yeah.
Guy or girl, like you're gonna be drawn to it, attracted to it, and I think that it's creative, and you're gonna be like, Red Lipstick Bandit. What's this person's? What's this account about? And you click over to it, and they're gonna at that point, once you've drawn them to your profile, it's important to know right off the bat who this person is. If I'm going to want to connect with them, do they have a website?
Yeah.
Is it a spam?
You got to do a little bit of research nowadays on all these accounts, because there's so many like copies and copies. And
but I would encourage the use of using your name and or using something that's extremely easy to read, that's quick for somebody to read. Because if you've got like 456 underscore, I'm Joe.
Period.
I'm Joe from our zip code is 831. Nobody's gonna see that.
Doesn't look appealing.
It doesn't look appealing. But Realtor Joe, might be more appealing. Yeah. Your Realtor Joe might be more appealing. You know what I mean? So your birthday can only, as part of your handle, can only take you so far. Having then Realtor Joe, I am your Realtor Joe, has a good description. I'm the best realtor in whatever county you're from. Good. He's now hooked me. I specialize in, getting max value on your home sale, whatever it may be, and again, an everyday Joe is going to say, man, my realtor Joe's actually doing some good stuff there. I'm going to remember him when I want to sell my house. So now let me click on, my realtor Joe's, and I'm just making this up as we're talking, right?
I'm pretty sure that tag is page is out
I'm
there.
sure it's out there. We're going to look. But
bring up realtor Joe.
my realtor Joe, he has a nice website, and now I can click his website, and it pops up in Instagram before it's taken me to Safari or whatever have you. And right on that first page, I could decide if I want to share my email address with him or not. You know what I'm saying?
So there is a My Realtor Joe page out there. So if you guys are looking, it's available. But we do have Joel is my realtor, my realtor, and Joe my realtor.
Yeah.
But not my realtor Joe.
Yeah.
So in case
Cool.
some Joseph guy, the realtor out there,
Nice.
we just gave you a free page.
Somebody's gonna go swoop that right now when they're listening.
Just make sure you subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's important for everybody to know. I don't want to go to your page and be like, I'm, actually, I used to do that. And as I started to get more into this world and know the importance of it, I'm a dad. I like to mountain bike. I like to play poker. I like to, I like to play hockey. My favorite team's the NHL. My favorite team's the Sharks, right? And that
was your bio?
Yeah, and I don't think very many people are attracted to the typical dad hockey fan.
I got dad jokes.
I got dad. My dad jokes are terrible. My son even tells me that.
That's what they're about.
Oh no, they're extremely terrible. Yeah, but anyhow, that's real quick. Branding. Yeah. Branding is important. Brand yourself. Brand yourself as just a regular user, regular Joe. Brand yourself. It's important. And I think that people are going to engage with you more by being really, again, putting your face on your own profile. Though we still, I think all of us in the room, myself, I should probably, again, I know what I need to be doing. I know that I gotta get that phone in front of me more often. Instagram Live, which we haven't even got into, and Facebook Live, and talk to our audience, and more stories, and whatever you want to do, and IGTV. But take steps to what works for you. And for me at the moment, I know that that's the direction that I should be doing. Yeah. I know that I should be maybe promoting more, so there's that understanding of it, knowing what you could be doing, and then jumping in and seeing if it has value to you, for your target audience. And at the moment, again, I'm not bringing, I'm not bringing that target, or I'm not needing those types of awareness. But I think last year we had a wonderful story that are following just by putting my face out there, giving away giveaways and putting my face out there. We've seen like a 400 time increase or something like that, or what was it?
I think we did grow by almost like 400 followers, which was like 40% at the time. That was huge.
It was huge. Yeah,
we went from like 600 or around like 600 something to like, I think around
a brand new
900 something,
fairly new page, and it all of a sudden just exploded off of just organically posting and doing the right things. Putting your face out there, connecting with your audience, giving them what was relevant in the community at the time, which was our rodeo. Anyhow, so we want to move this show along, and again, one of the other things we want to make. I'll start this with the story. I said, to my wife, again, we're a small business, and I've spoke with her, like, I think maybe you could jump on our team and just help us a little more with some of our clients, and I can teach you, and some ins and outs and tips and tricks. And she goes, oh no. I don't even understand what this whole hashtag world. I got no time for you guys. Got time for that? I don't know what I'm. It's like, guys, and anybody listening, this stuff really is. It's time consuming. Not that anybody can learn it. We can teach it. Come here.
Production.
Come on in.
Part of the production team.
We got a guest. Come on in.
Hey.
What do you got there?
It's got a little.
Anybody can learn the world of social media. Some of the more challenging things come from when you start to get into ads, targeting ads, learning and understanding the analytics behind it and how to put it all together. And again, wasn't really trying to request to teach that. Was really saying I want to teach you, bring you on and teach you to do some of the basic stuff to because we're so busy. We have a lot of things going, and as our company's growing, we could definitely use an extra helping hand, right? Then that's what she said, and I believe what she told me. I don't even understand hashtags. I believe what she said that. I think that there's a lot of users out there that just hashtag like crazy. They don't even understand what a hashtag is.
Hashtags.
You know what I'm saying?
That could be like 3 episodes deep.
That could be, so
very important.
You want to connect with your message to a certain demo, or an audience, photographer, let's just say hashtag. You can use any word basically this day as a hashtag, and there's probably thousands of images associated with that, and you're going to fall into this feed of images.
Yeah.
But using them wisely, using a hashtag wisely at the right time, when it might be trending, using the appropriate tag that matches with your, again, demo and your image maybe.
Yeah. It can be a very sensitive topic.
Absolutely.
Because, like you said, something that's trendy, and for a person, you got to know your hashtag. You got to use them correctly. You can put all kinds of tags, but at the end of the day, if you have the right person looking at your post, they're just gonna call you out and know your bluff. You just hashtag in just for your post,
just for
to
your
get there.
Exactly.
Like tags that have nothing to do with the post themselves. They're just using it like they post love, hashtag love on something that's like not even related to it. They just want They just want to show up in the feed of things that are people looking up for love. So you got to definitely know what you're using and be sensitive to what you're trying to sell to people. Be mindful. Yeah, because people are going to, a smart person is going to be like, oh, okay.
Yep.
This guy's just trying to
BS his way through.
Jump the bandwagon.
What Javon said earlier, likes, and or sometimes people are just chasing the likes. And sometimes, sometimes myself, I'm not chasing the likes. I'm chasing how many impressions I've left, because I could see that, I could see that, oh, yeah, I have 1,000 followers and I've left 800 impressions, but I've only received 70 likes, Yeah. Are they not connecting with me? Do they just want to not click it? Do they really don't like it? You start to think about all of those things, but really if you let that stay in your mind, on like, oh man, I don't get that much post, that shouldn't slow you down from posting your second post at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
It should still inspire you to say, got to keep going, got to keep it going. And then you got to ask yourself again, if you're just regular Joe that's a realtor that really knows 1,000,000% that, and a realtor is a terrible example actually, because a realtor can get I think more realtors need to be on the social media game, but if you're regular Joe, 7-Eleven Joe, right? If you're 7-Eleven Joe, what do you need a hashtag that bubble gum's on sale today? You know what I'm saying? Like the store owner is probably not going to give you a raise for selling more bubble gum that week. You know what I mean? So are your posts day to day really important? You know what I mean? And so then you say, why am I building a personal brand for? Why am I building a personal following? Is it for my family, right? To keep up with me? Then, you're going to, and I want to stick on the topic here of hashtagging, but why is 7-Eleven Joe going to be, hashtagging bubblegum for sale, hashtag bubblegum for sale? You know what I mean? Like nobody's going to click that, you know what I mean? And just like that hashtag, ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I mean? Like, really, a lot of people are not going to go and click and find and discover you through a hashtag that's 15, or 5 words long, or 15 a phrase,
Yeah.
They're not going to go find you over a phrase, and so I love it when I see a hashtag that's literally a full sentence long, and they've just just wasted their time and
Yeah.
everybody else's.
That's a good tip, because that's like another really good strategy that people use hashtags the wrong way. They use too many or too long of a hashtag. Nobody's gonna find you. I sold or buy
Before I
this
lose my
piece of
thought,
gum.
real quick, and hold your thought too, because 7-Eleven Joe, who's really building a profile that and I'm right now I'm talking Instagram, but I mean, sure, he could be posting these photos over to Facebook and build a library of family photos, or who 7-Eleven Joe is. And we're not knocking 7-Eleven Joe, because he's got a great profile that shows his own personal life, and look, I'm a family man, and he really wants to share that, and he's gonna now use a hashtag. So maybe 7-Eleven Joe's last name is, I don't know why I was just thinking Smith, Joe Smith, and Mr. Joe 7-Eleven Joe Smith is gonna start using the hashtag Smith family. You know what I mean? So now he's building a following amongst his family profile, that his other Smith family is going to be able to use that hashtag and say, and now third cousin, Anna Smith has come along from, who knows, she's in Texas, and clicks, the Smith family tag, and now she can add to that. And now we've got a collection of family tags. You see how that's working, and that's relevant to their circle. You know what I'm saying? But now 7-Eleven Joe Smith wants to add, throw a little tag in the mix there, Monterey County. Again, we're from Monterey County, so I'm just using my local tag as an example. And he says, and he's using that because he took a nice family picture on Monterey Wharf, the nice Monterey Bay background, which can only be found within the Monterey County tags, you know what I'm saying, which people are going to go and click, and that's going to be relevant of that circle, which he's now throwing another photo in that feed. And anybody that day that's just felt using the hashtag Monterey County is going to click their own tag and say, I like what these 200 other people took today, and I'm getting some inspiration from it. I'm getting inspiration and idea is the same difference, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how we want to throw ourselves into these feeds of using hashtags appropriately and properly. Not I ain't got time for that. Hashtag, because nobody does have time for that, and they're not going to click that. Anything you want to add to that? But I hope that made sense.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. You got to make sure your tags are not confusing. They're appropriate for the content you're trying to, show out there. Because if it's confusing or long, it could lose its value. If you use it wrong. Like, let's say you have an awesome product, you use a crappy, non-relevant hashtag, your whole post can just be like non-relevant to the people. It can be I personally would lose interest, and I know a lot of people do as well. What do you think, Jovan?
Just basically like use hashtags with a purpose.
Yeah.
Know who you're trying to reach, know like your purpose of posting, and having that relate to your hashtags.
Too many hashtags or middle amount, like too little?
Well, having too many hashtags definitely makes it look way too, like Alex said earlier,
Right.
preachy.
Yeah.
Or like very like, sell.
Yeah.
So I mean, keep it a reasonable amount. I mean, you don't want to see like a caption in it, like a small caption, and then like a giant chunk of of hashtags.
Yeah.
So I would say keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, I think probably in just like looking at the big picture, I think hashtags overall, let's say we're just looking at two cans of soda, it's ready to be posted. One person posts the can of soda as is, just like, this is a delicious soda. The other one uses a couple of relevant hashtags. I think just looking at those two side by side, I think the right use of the hashtag will make sure your product appears in more places and gets a little bit more reshared. Again, that's just depending on the content itself. If it's something, the content's not important, not interesting, it's just going to fly by. But if we're just analyzing the content itself, I think the hashtags will benefit your post for sure.
Yeah.
Not on
This
today's
show-
episode.
This show could just keep going and going and going, right?
I know.
I mean-
We gotta give him something to look forward to. Episode 7.
Do you want to share like a little story tip real quick?
Story tip?
Yeah.
Like the love for like Instagram stories?
Yeah, Instagram story
Yeah,
tip.
well, I mean, Instagram stories, like, it's another form of posting. You don't necessarily have to post something so permanent on your page. So, you know, stories are great for, like, very raw content, something that doesn't have to be super
Right.
polished.
It's
And
only there for 24
yeah,
hours.
Only 24 hours, and you could add, like, hashtags to that as well.
I love
so that,
stories.
Yeah, so that more people could see it. You could add stickers to it, so that way there's, like, location stickers where you could tag the location and people could view that location from a collective story of, you know, of people using that location. It's just it feels so much more like organic, and I think it's really good for like that personal engagement,
Yeah.
that like live real time you know, action that's going on behind the scenes, and it gives you, like we said before, that personable like aspect of
Yeah.
the social media,
Especially
rather than
the-
like sell, like, you know, giving yourself like that time to be like, oh, eating my lunch over here at X or at this restaurant, hashtag like lunch break,
Yeah.
or like tagging the restaurant. That'll bring people, you know, more people to see your story, to like, you know.
That's kind of what sometimes throws me off when I'm scrolling through the stories, and then I see a very well produced paid ad right in the middle of it, and it takes me away from my that personable content that I'm looking at. I'm seeing the behind the scenes, people prepping this.
But you're being sold. You're
I know,
there.
it's the
You're
craziest
there.
thing
That's
because-
good advertising. That's
because,
good
like-
which is another topic, you know.
You're scrolling through the timeline and you're seeing people's finished products, right? Most people that are posting their finished products or whatever, and then you go through the stories. And I go through the stories to get more of a raw feel. You know, sometimes you see the process of the post. You know, how the post came about, but people post the stories as, you know, like little progress here and there, and then throw that paid in the middle of all that. I'm like, oh, like I had a good vibe going, and now like I gotta go to corporate mode, skip it real quick, get back in line to see my organic content.
Yeah.
But it's I think you can't really escape it.
No,
You
yeah.
gotta just
I don't like always getting hit with ads, but I like it when we hit. I like it when we hit people
Yeah,
with
it
ads.
I love it.
Ads are so effective when they do pop up like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
They're so
and even if they're self-promoted, non-paid ad right in the middle of a story, you know, that is you know, that you're self-created.
Yeah.
That could be huge. Some of those users that have some of those features like the swipe up right in story feature. Oh man, I mean that is huge.
Yeah,
That's
they've
huge. When I
like,
first heard
doubled
about
in
that,
sales.
when I first heard about that, I'm like, wow, that's huge. So that's not something that a lot of people are going to be able to take advantage of and or have a full understanding of. What else? Where should we leave them? What should we leave them with here?
Well, definitely remember
How about-
that.
Go ahead. I did that again. I think we started off this show. We started off this show when I wanted to steal your spotlight.
I'll finish my part. And we
Okay,
just continue. But the last things I had was for people to remember that organic Instagram stories definitely help move your profile, your brand. Post stories a lot. Know your hashtags. Make sure you're using the right hashtag. Don't just copy paste somebody's other hashtag paragraph. Less is more on the hashtag world for sure. And always appreciate the engagement you get, even if it's negative. Try to engage with your audience. Answer the questions. Go to the comments. Don't just leave the comments, I guess, empty. You know?
Yeah,
I
commenting.
like when companies, you know, like I see that they're commenting on the comments and they're liking it, because I'm like, okay, maybe if it's not like the company CEO, but you see that at least the company reps and their social media team is like responsive, you know, I like that.
Yep. Yeah, that's super important. And it also with that's connecting with your audience. You know, it's important to tag somebody who's relevant to connect with some, you know, give them a tag, you know, and they like to be tagged, and that's networking. You know, that's the beauty of social media in the world we live in now. This is free marketing. This is free.
It's free real estate.
What did I just say?
I
What
just
did I
plugged
just
in the
call
show.
it? Gosh, now I just lost the word that I just said.
Free real estate is what you wanted to say.
It's just free networking. This is
Yeah.
free networking. I mean, and I don't know why we're not understanding that. In some markets do, but in our market sometimes we're just not understanding that. That tagging somebody else that was with you that day, could be very valuable to bringing more people to your page, and you want them to see your profile. You're wondering why I'm not growing. Well, that's because you're not tagging people, or you're not.
You have to physically engage with them on the app.
Like you said, it's super important to engage with the audience, have conversations with them, click like on their profile. But it's also important that if you see those hashtags and you see that popular page, bounce over and make sure you're engaging with that content that's relevant to your market, that's relevant to who you feel you are as a brand. I like following people that are shoe influencers, and that's kind of a trendy, kind of a trend thing. So I go and I click like on shoe thing. I just been giving that example over the last few weeks.
Comment.
Yeah, like and comment, and
comment.
I make
that's
conversations, and next thing I know, I got a new follower because they like what they like that I'm engaging and I'm a real person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So being
That's
a real
big.
person is big. It's important, and it's important that businesses are using the same practice as well. So if you're a video producer and you're making good video content, don't just let everybody go and think they're going to come and view you, and that's all you're getting from it. Is it's basically don't make the internet a me. Don't make your social media profile a me platform. Make it a who are you platform. Look at me. Who are you? You know what I mean? I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing. Look at what I did. You know what I mean? It's kind of like what goes around comes around. You know what I'm saying? And you want to build your engagement, build your audience. It's about communicating. Get
positive, right communication.
Get
Stay away from the negative comments.
definitely.
And no arguing on the comment section against the flat earthers. Stay away from that.
That's our Facebook.
Good business
practices. That's what our Facebooks are for.
That's what Facebooks are for. Good business practices on Instagram, and you'll for sure see a business grow.
Yeah.
From the inside, because the good thing about Instagram is give you the chance to show the core of who you are, what your business is all about, and I think we went over that in some of the other episodes. But that's big.
I want to kind of start to bring this show to an end, because I don't want the listeners to have to tune in for another hour, because we could really do that on this show. But I think it's important that at this point, or right now at this time, and for those that are still tuned in, to please know that ask us a question, send us an email. Again, you don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to be a marketer. You could just be
7-Eleven Joe.
7-Eleven Joe. 7-Eleven Joe. Send me, really, honestly. I mean, Alex at Mag One Media. That's my personal email account. You can email the team at Mag One Media. Alejandro at Mag One Media. Javon at Mag One Media.
Hector Reyes at HectorReyesFilms.com.
But no, really, send me an email. I'd love to answer your question. I would love to continue this topic on this show. We kind of just explored a little bit of everything,
The surface of Instagram.
The surface. This is scratching the surface. But what we've talked about today, I mean, millions of people are having these conversations on the internet. It's not very difficult to go and Google this type of information. But I would hope that you're getting value from watching our show, and you're enjoying this conversation, and I can bring more of it to you. But in order to do that, again, I bring you I bring the conversation or this on to you on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you're listening, on YouTube. Do me a favor, besides clicking the like button and hitting the subscribe button, make a comment. Again, send me an email, because that's going to inspire me, to just keep on pushing the show, keep on bringing you good content, keep on giving you, good
And any ideas you would like to
knowledge.
heir about, that would be great.
Absolutely, that
If you
too.
have any ideas,
topics? If there's a specific topic or a question on an Instagram, IG, TV, or stories, or Facebook, story, which bounces right off of. I mean, honestly, no question is silly, and no question should go overheard.
Yeah,
So
let us know what you want us to bring to the show.
Definitely.
They're probably wondering, like, when are they going to talk about this?
Yeah.
We're like,
So I just to line it up, we have future shows where, and if we want to be talking about Google and Google Analytics, which is uber important to your website. If you have a website with no Google Analytics, then you're really just driving, a car with no drive, or what do you you're driving a car blind. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get, you're not gonna know. Anyways, we're gonna get into that show. Not important. That very important, but still, that's for a future show. Again, we plan to dive in more on, maybe one day we might have a Snapchat ads, podcast here. We're gonna bring in conversations with. We got a brew fest coming up, we got a wine fest, coming up. We have festivals coming up. We have a whole bunch of fun things with other marketers and some really unique fun topics, to share with the world. But send us a question, let us know. Any last thoughts, guys? Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
I love it.
what do you want to hear? Let us know. Message us on Instagram, message us on Facebook. Leave a post on our wall. Like, what do you want to hear? We'd like to know.
Yep.
Holler
Alright.
at your boy.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll just end it right here. It's a good time to end it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We can keep talking, but we gotta.
I always
we
hate
gotta
saying
give
goodbye.
them
That's
more.
why I hate saying goodbye.
It's more like a see you later.
Yeah.
I'm like, locker room talk.
No.
See, no.
Just kidding.
See you on the next one. Again, my name is Alex. For the crew, this is The Connection. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribing. YouTube, Spotify, all those good platforms. Till the next one. Peace.